Hi. Yep, Sophia and I are here today, and it's been a while since I've been able to get off some stuff off my chest. It's been building up for the last week or so, and I'm not able to reference my pile of stack here, and so because I gotta get Sophie taken care of. But I figured we could just get this crap about what the hell, who invited this little weasel Santorum to America. I mean, this guy, who I've hated for years, back when he was pushing Terry Schiavo on our face. Rick Santorum, this weaselly-faced little putz, little wimpy wuss. They couldn't have picked a bigger wuss. I just couldn't believe it. The little crying, looks like he's about ready to burst into tears look on his face. That is the look of a Puritan. That is the look of someone who is incessantly worried, haunted at every waking moment that somewhere, someplace, somebody might be having a good time or somebody might be happy somewhere. That really bothers people like Rick Santorum and Rush Limbaugh, who I don't even want. That's another show where I'll nail him to the wall. You watch. You watch, listen, and learn. Now, Santorum, this little stink, this little weasel, this little wuss, this little simp, exits Congress, is defeated a biggest margin in history in Pennsylvania by his opponent, 18 points. The people of Pennsylvania hated him so much they threw him out by the widest margin in history, and he has the gall to think he should speak for the rest of the country. He should lead the rest of us. When his own, don't whine, when his own people threw him out, his own state couldn't stand him, didn't want him speaking for them. This guy, when he left office, when he was thrown out of office in 2006, the next very year, he's making $300,000 a year. Every year he's getting a $300,000 a year raise. When he left Congress, he was making $600,000. Now his latest thing says he's making almost $3 million. That's a hell of a raise in a few years. I think any one of us could do well with that. But he's just an ordinary guy with 7 kids, never took a dime from the government or anything like that. Bull crap, man. This little weasel who wants to talk, and the reason I'm so mad about it is I'd let him be. But this thing that he's riled up the contraception, that he's dragged this crap out from the last century and gotten these guys ahead of steam, not just him, but all the Republicans now are going to start talking about contraception? This guy doesn't even think married couples should have contraception, and it's spilling over where all kinds of these people are now. And I pay attention to all this, state senator in Illinois, I'll have to find the thing. I got her on tape, and she's saying that the options for married couples instead of contraceptions are condoms and abstinence. She thinks married couples should maintain abstinence because it works 100% of the time. I mean, the silence was deafening in the council room when she was saying this. You start wondering, what's her marriage like, right? And this is where I'm thinking right away, the only people in the world, I mean in America, that are concerned about contraception and whether or not it's free or whether or not who pays for it or what, those people are either hypocrites or they're not getting laid. Those are the only two people that would open their mouths about such a thing. And people like Rush Limbaugh should be recused from any sex talk based on his past with Viagra and little boys in the Dominican Republic. But I'm not going to, that's a whole nother show. Like I said, I'll nail him to a wall another time. We're going to stick to Santorum right now. Who every time he opens his mouth, you can guarantee one thing. Whatever he says is wrong. First of all, it's wrong, it's sanctimonious, it's humorless, it's preachy, it's disgusting. And it's infuriating, frankly. Every single time this bastard has ever opened his mouth in public has pissed me off. And this goes back to the days, like I say, of this poor Terry Schiavo. Now, this guy, Santorum, likes to yap about freedom. And like I said, I have a stack here I can't reference because I have to feed Sophie. But in he says this election's it, man. It's about either you're going to remain free or you're not going to remain free. If you don't elect Rick Santorum, apparently, boom, the chains are going on. We're not going to be a free country anymore. Never in history of America has we faced such a thing. But never in history we had this black socialist commie from Kenya who is not a Christian. And anyhow, this guy said yesterday about this freedom, and he's always talking about that they want freedom. Well, this poor woman didn't have the freedom to die with dignity. He kept her alive, dragged her out like a circus freak at a sideshow, like when they pull the curtain aside and there's a big mummified shark in a tank. That was what Terry Schiavo was like. I'm falling the balloon around. And you don't remember Bill Frist? That was, I don't want you to remember these people, Bill Frist and W. Bush and all this crap. Bill Frist, the surgeon who used to get cats from the shelter and then dissect them, kill them and dissect them. That's what the Bill Frist used to do. But Santorum was going to have Bill Frist diagnose Schiavo via videotape. You don't remember that? Bill Frist went on. Yeah, of course you don't. I'm the one that pays attention to this stuff, and the Republicans don't want you to remember it. That's the kind of freedom that Santorum likes. You don't have the freedom to die. You don't have the freedom to decide when you're going to have a baby or when you're going to have sex or who's going to get married. His freedom, when they ask him, well, if you agree with the church about contraception, then you must agree with them about healthcare being a human right. No. He says what he agrees is that you have the right to pay for healthcare. See, that's his kind of freedom. You have the freedom to pay for it. He says we should protect all life. We should protect all life. But he told the woman whose kids' pills cost $1 million a year to keep them alive that that's her problem, and the insurance not the insurance, the drug company should be able to charge her $1 million a year to keep the kid alive. That's protecting life to him. That's freedom to him. This little slap his little weasel face. How could anybody be in the same room with him and not just run up and punch him? Rick Santorum. How could anybody not be in the same room with him and not just want to slap him? And his kids, every 7 of them. Except for maybe the poor one that has a defect. I don't know what's wrong with her, apparently. But no fault of hers. But this guy made the Pennsylvania pay for his 7 kids to be homeschooled. He made him pay for computers at his house. And then he comes up and goes, well, the federal government should be out of schools entirely. Except that he wants them to pay for his kids' education. It is the biggest hypocrisy crap. I mean, these guys have a lock on it, man. I don't believe the federal government should be involved at all in your children's education. Well then, pay for it yourself. You snivelly little son of a... I don't want to cuss in front of the baby. As least amount as I can, anyway. Anyhow, so Santorum dragged Schiavo out. Santorum says that if this thing's about freedom, but beware, he doesn't think that married couples should have contraception. This is spilling all over his... I'm sure you saw Foster Freeze, his big supporter, tell women to put an aspirin between their knees. As somebody who's been a father at a young age, over and over and over and over again, I think I'd like to have my own decisions about contraception left between myself and my wife. And the audacity of Rick Santorum to insert himself into such business should disqualify him for any serious consideration for dog catcher, much less President of the United States. And yet, there's a constituency out there that's so dumb they support him, including women. Like I said, this woman, which makes you wonder about the quality of their lives. You know, take it like a woman. That's what the woman in Texas told her disabled daughter when her father, the judge, was beating her. Look it up on YouTube, with a belt. If there's anybody that I'd go to jail to hurt, go lay in wait and hurt, it's that judge down in Texas that beat that poor 16-year-old girl of his, and her mother stood there and screamed at her, "Take it like a woman." Well, again, you wonder what's going on in the history and psychology there. And you can bet they were Democrats, the Texas judge and his wife that beat the disabled girl. That sounds like the liberal Democrats to me. If you listen to Hannity or Roger Hedgecock or any of this liberal media, which is all you can get, if you have to drive somewhere in your car and the radio ain't playing what you want it to play, and your CDs you can't reach because they're under the seat, or you can't, for whatever reason you have to listen to talk radio, it's going to be right wing, right? Oh, time's up. We'll continue on. All right, Santorum, you bastard.